So is internet addiction real? Or is it just an excuse? The National and the World Health Organization is basically neither the World Health Organization nor the American Psychiatric Association recognize internet addiction as a disorder. Last year, however, the WHO recognized a more specific gaming disorder following years of research in China, South Korea, and Taiwan, where doctors have called it a public health crisis. So, and I think that if you have an internet addiction, it's probably going to express itself in gaming rather than just clicking through site after site after site. That was the old internet addiction. Remember when it first came on, we had AOL and we had the dial-up and we're like, oh, there's another website and then another website and then down the whole. Now people are bored with that. But the gaming, that's a deal. Leigh Richardson is with the Brain Performance Center. Leigh, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
We have something going on there with the phone. Okay, are you there? We have you?
I am.
Okay, all right. So you work with when you say the Brain Performance Center. Do you believe that there is such a thing as an internet addiction, or is it an excuse?
Well, I do believe that there is an addiction to video games because, when you stop and think about it, addiction has really changed. 10 years ago, when we talked about addiction, it was either drugs or alcohol, one or the other. But now it's shifted. It's shifted towards pleasurable activities, whether it's video games, shopping, sex, gambling. It's more the pleasurable activities that we're recognizing we're addicted to. And there's a reason why. Anytime you do something and you like it, you go, oh, I like that. Well, the brain starts to release this neurotransmitter, dopamine. And dopamine, it's a really feel-good neurotransmitter. So, I like this. I like the way this makes me feel. And the more you do it and the more intensely you do it, those little nerve cells in the brain, they get confused. They go from, oh, I like this, I really like this, to, I want this, I really want this. And then it gets to, I need it, I've got to have it. So, whether it's video games or alcohol or shopping or pills, it takes a hold of your brain. And any time that, there are negative consequences because you're doing something and you continue to do it, that tells you you're in a danger zone.
Do you think, I've always felt like addiction was more broad-based than we've made it out to be anyway. Somebody who has an addictive personality will struggle with addiction. If they don't struggle with drugs, they'll struggle with gambling. If they don't struggle with gambling, they'll struggle with food. If you have a tendency to get addicted to things, you're going to struggle with this stuff. Is it that some people have a propensity to get addicted to things associated with being online?
Well, it's all about what's going on in your brain that makes you have that addictive personality. And brainwaves are genetic. We've learned the hard way that alcohol, that comes through genetically. But I think that if you're looking for an escape from reality, or if you're looking for a way to calm down, and the easiest thing to do is go in and pick up that console. And it's challenging, and challenge can be motivating for people, and it's social. You can play with your friends, you can get in gaming communities, so it becomes part of your lifestyle.
Right.
And it's an enjoyable part of your lifestyle, and that's what I think makes it really hard.
So how do we deal with it? Because I don't think that gaming in and of itself is a bad thing. I don't think that we should be trying to keep our kids from playing video games. I think that there's a tendency in today's society to blame inanimate objects like guns for violence and video games for violence, when really it's the moral values that we instill in our children, the sense of discipline, the sense of, okay, it's time to cut off now because I'm done, those kinds of things. So how do we deal with this?
Well, I think we had to put some controls in place. There's a great website, internetmatters.org, and I encourage parents to go and look. There's some resources because you can, number one, how many parents stop and look at the game that they're buying for their children? Jimmy got it for his birthday, and I really, really want to have it, Mom. Okay, but stop and look at the games that you're buying. There's some great games out there. There's some things that increase your creativity and let your imagination get very creative. So use some controls. Know what you're buying and put some controls on it. You know, okay, we have 1 hour of video games a day during the week. And when you go over that, we take that from your time tomorrow, you know, so that there are consequences and that everybody understands those rules are firm. Because it's like anything. If you keep pushing and mom's going to give, you're going to keep pushing. I had 2 boys. I know all that.
Do you think that you work for a place called the Brain Performance Center? Is connectivity to technology causing our brains to perform less well because we're so connected to technology?
Well, you know, they're looking at that. I saw a study UCLA did that says that because technology, the way we're using it, it's causing us not to develop our reasoning and our critical thinking skills as much because we don't have to. You know, critical thinking, we have to conceptualize, we have to analyze, evaluate, we have to get creative. And it's so easy with technology that we're just not doing it that much.
Right. Interesting. All right, listen, Leigh, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Leigh Richardson, the Brain Performance Center.